This is Bioshock Infinite, Condensed. You play as Booker DeWitt, a private investigator who's in a lot of debt. The year is 1912, and the game starts with you on a boat. You're accompanied by the Lutece twins, Robert and Rosalind Lutece.
Coming here was your idea.
My idea?
They gave you a job, which is to bring the girl and wipe away the debt. Incredibly vague, yes. You will arrive at a lighthouse, and you get to the top and find a chair. You sit down on it, and you're encased in a capsule which rockets you up into the sky.
15,000 feet. Hallelujah.
Welcome to the floating city of Columbia. The pod takes you into a church and you walk around until you join in on a congregation.
Is it someone new? Someone from the Sodom below?
To gain entry into the city, you must be baptized. The priest dunks you into the water for a bit too long and you lose consciousness. In a dream, you wake up in your office and open the door to see Columbia attacking New York. You wake up surrounded by statues of America's founding fathers, and you officially enter Columbia, a beautiful place full of happy people. It seems like an utopia on the surface, but the society is highly religious and militaristic with a strong belief in white supremacy. The people of Columbia view the world below as inferior, referring to it as the Sodom below. You arrive at a fair, seeing some of Columbia's wonders. A woman offers you a vigor, a tonic that pretty much gives you superpowers. This particular vigor gives you the ability to temporarily possess humans and machines. You will receive more vigors later on with some other crazy powers. You bump into the Lutece twins and they ask you to flip a coin.
Come on, let me through. Heads.
Or tails.
You get heads, and as indicated on the chalkboard, this was the 123rd head in a row. Yeah, that's the correct count. You come across a poster showing the mark of the false shepherd, the same one on your right hand. You arrive at a raffle fair and you receive a baseball with the number 77, which happens to be the winning number. The host, Jeremiah Fink, encourages you to throw the baseball at an interracial couple. You're given the choice to throw the ball at the couple or at Fink, but either way, you're stopped by the police.
Wow, where'd you get that brand?
They recognize you as the false shepherd, and things quickly get bloody. You fight your way through the streets and find the Lutece twins again inside the building.
Why are you following me?
We were already here.
Why are you following us?
Aperitif.
They offer a tonic that gives you a shield, explained to be a magnetic repulsive field. From here on out, it becomes quite clear that Columbia is not a really pleasant place to be at. After roaming around a bit, you become acquainted with Father Comstock, the ruler of Columbia.
I see every sin that blackens your soul.
He knows all about you and why you're here because he's a prophet, a totally legit one. You get into an airship and Comstock comes to greet you in person.
The Lord forgives everything, but I'm just a prophet, so I don't have to. Amen.
Amen.
Jesus!
You reach Monument Island, where Elizabeth, the girl you're looking for, is supposed to be at. The signs and surrounding machinery indicate that Elizabeth is very dangerous, referring to her as a specimen. Yet you just stroll on in because there's no security at all. You see Elizabeth through a window who's not aware she's being watched. In another room, you see her open an interdimensional rift.
Whoa! What is...
You get to the library and meet Elizabeth face to face, who seems a bit surprised to see you.
Hello? Oh, hurt you.
Who are you?
My name is DeWitt. I'm a friend.
Are you real? He's coming. You've gotta go.
You give Elizabeth a key, which unlocks the way out. During the escape, the building's being torn apart by Songbird, who's shown to be a giant mechanical bird-like creature. You and Elizabeth make it outside and fall into the water, narrowly escaping Songbird's grasp. Elizabeth wakes you up and runs off on her own.
It's music. I won't be long, Mr. DeWitt.
You're at an artificial beach of some sort and find Elizabeth dancing with a group of people. You interrupt and say that you can take her to an airship headed to Paris. The two of you head out together and the Lutece twins show up again, offering 2 pendants.
Or perhaps the bird.
Nothing beats the cage.
These two again.
Elizabeth asks you to choose one, which doesn't make any impact on the story. At the ticket booth, there's an ambush set up, and you have to kill the assailants. Elizabeth runs away, horrified that you just killed a bunch of people. You chase after her, and the two of you talk in a gondola.
You killed those people.
Elizabeth,
You're a monster.
what did you think was gonna happen?
After you explain the situation you're both in, she reconciles and the two of you carry on. To power the gondola to the airship, you need a new vigor, shock jockey, which is at the Hall of Heroes. On the way there, in an elevator ride, it breaks down, so you attempt to fix it. There's a bee inside, so Elizabeth opens an interdimensional rift, aka a tear, to get it out.
It's like a window. A window to another world. Most of the time they're dull as dishwater, a different colored towel or tea instead of coffee. But sometimes I see something amazing, and I pull it through.
In the tear, Songbird shows up out of nowhere, so Elizabeth closes it. You arrive at the Hall of Heroes, and Cornelius Slate, a disgraced military veteran, has occupied the area with his soldiers.
Slate? Is that you?
You've always been different, haven't you, Booker?
Slate asks you to give his men a soldier's death, after which he will give you the shock jockey. Much to Slate's frustration, the displays in the Hall of Heroes are a wildly inaccurate representation of historical events.
Oh, I read about this. Comstock led the Colombian troops to
Comstock wasn't there!
At a memorial dedicated to Father Comstock's late wife, Lady Comstock, it's revealed that Elizabeth is Comstock's daughter.
You're Comstock's daughter.
No, I can't be. I can't.
He wants you to follow in his footsteps.
Well, I want a puppy, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna get one.
After killing all his men, you meet Slate face to face, and he asks you to kill him.
You're not done here, soldier! Eat everything that's on your plate! Finish it!
You either kill or spare him, and you finally get shock jockey. So you return to power up the gondola, and you make it onto the airship. Elizabeth wants to go to Paris, but you put in the coordinates for New York. She finds out that you tricked her, so she knocks you out. You wake up and see that your airship has been taken over by the Vox Populi, a revolutionary group made up of the oppressed people of Colombia. Daisy Fitzroy, the leader, asks you to find a gunsmith, Chenlin, in exchange for the airship.
Get our guns from him, and you shall have your ship back.
You find Elizabeth, but she runs away from you, using tears to slow you down. A handyman shows up and throws you around, and you almost fall to your death, but Elizabeth saves you.
You can get us out of here.
Yes! I just need to supply enough weapons to arm an entire uprising.
And where will we get these weapons? From one of our many friends and allies?
A gunsmith in Finkton should be a walk in the park. What do you say, partners?
Having no other choice, Elizabeth decides to cooperate. Jeremiah Fink, a businessman that's in charge of a lot of the crazy inventions you've been seeing, calls you through the intercom.
Listen, my boy, we've had our eye on you, and I can tell you right now that you are our top candidate. Top!
He seems oddly pleased to make your acquaintance.
You arrive at Chenlin's shop, but he's not there. But Chenlin's wife is there, and she says that he was taken away to some place called the Good Time Club.
Why not Vox Populi help Chenlin? Why not Daisy Fitzroy help Chenlin?
At the Good Time Club, Fink sends his men at you to see if you're good enough. Fink respects your combat skills and wants you to be the head of security, but you refuse. You get inside the brig and into the interrogation room, and you find Chenlin.
God damn it.
The Lutece twins pop in and explain that there's another option.
Body's gone.
It was never here.
It's another Columbia.
Different Columbia.
The same coin.
A different perspective.
Heads.
Tails.
Dead.
Alive.
Elizabeth opens the tear to another reality, one where Chenlin isn't dead. Back at the gun shop, Chenlin is indeed alive, but he seems out of it.
I'm Booker DeWitt.
Stand back! These machines very dangerous. Wait downstairs with Mrs. Lin.
Chenlin's wife, who's white in this reality, says that his tools were taken away by the police. There's a possibility that returning his tools could fix his mind, so you head towards Shantytown, where his tools are at. You find the tools, but it's evidently a bit too much to lug back to the shop. But there's another tear, which leads to a reality where the tools should be back at the shop. In this reality, the Vox Populi's revolution is in full motion. This reality's version of you was a martyr who died for the revolution.
You're Booker DeWitt, the hero of the Vox!
I remember I led the Vox.
Booker. Your nose. You're bleeding.
You get to Chenlin's gun shop, but find that he and his wife are dead. As you make your way out of the area, you just inadvertently end up rallying the Vox soldiers while fighting alongside them. Daisy Fitzroy is alerted of her presence, so she calls you.
I saw you die, Booker. Saw with my own eyes.
You're supposed to be dead in this reality, so Fitzroy deems you an imposter. So now the Vox Populi are turned against you. Fitzroy is seen killing Fink, and she holds his son hostage. It looks like Fitzroy is really going to kill the kid, so Elizabeth sneaks in and stabs her with a pair of scissors.
Elizabeth. Whoa, hey, easy.
Elizabeth is horrified by what she's done, so she runs off into the airship ahead of you. In the airship, you set the coordinates, but not to New York or Paris. I think the coordinates are here somewhere, I could be wrong. But anyway, Elizabeth shows back up. She cut her hair and changed into a new outfit, which belonged to Lady Comstock.
How do you do it?
How do I do what?
Forget.
You don't. You just learn to live with it.
So the moment of truth between us. New York or Paris?
Not even a moment later, Songbird finds you and takes down the airship. You get out of the airship's wreckage and hey, it's the Lutece twins again. They're playing the tune that summons Songbird, but it doesn't work because pianos aren't the correct instrument.
One needs both to get his attention.
But if you know how to sing to him,
he will take you where you need to go.
They give you a card, offer some vague advice as per usual, and disappear. You and Elizabeth decide to head to Comstock House, hoping to find something to stop Songbird. On a gondola ride, Elizabeth suddenly recognizes who the Lutece twins are.
Well, at least she invented the technology that allows the city to float. My book said they disappeared several years ago.
I told you they'd come.
No, you didn't.
Right. I was going to tell you they'd come.
But you didn't.
But I don't.
You sure that's right?
Something tells me they're not exactly what they appear.
I was going to have told you they'd come?
No.
The subjunctive?
That's not the subjunctive.
Inside a hallway a bit later, a statue plays Songbird's tune. But Songbird flies away after failing to find the two of you. Elizabeth's kinda shaken, and she makes you promise to kill her if Songbird was to capture her.
It won't come to that. Alright?
Columbia has more or less been taken over by the Vox Populi, its forces freely roaming the streets. At the entrance of Comstock House, the gate is locked, only able to open with Lady Comstock's fingerprints. So you pay a visit to Lady Comstock's grave to take her hand.
How are you, Mother? All locked up in there, huh?
Elizabeth shows intense disdain towards Lady Comstock because she was never there for Elizabeth. Turns out Comstock was aware of your presence and he hijacks Elizabeth's powers with siphons.
If you won't listen to me, perhaps you will listen to your mother!
She's not very happy about her current state, and she starts raising the dead. Luckily, shooting her enough times makes her disappear for a bit. The Lutece twins show up again while digging their own graves.
Lady Comstock exists across time.
She's both alive and dead.
She perceives being both.
She finds this condition disagreeable.
They tell you to find 3 tears, which will uncover some hidden secrets. So get ready for a big exposition dump. I should mention first that the Luteces made the tear device, which like Elizabeth, can open tears. Father Comstock used the tear device extensively, peering into other realities and thus being able to make his prophecies. But this eventually made him sterile. He wanted his bloodline to become the next heir, so he took Elizabeth from another reality. Lady Comstock believed Elizabeth to be a bastard child conceived by Rosalind Lutece.
That's my mother.
I assure you, madam, my sexual interest in your dear prophet is non-existent. Come again, you little bastard! I want her out of my house!
So, to make sure Elizabeth was seen as a legitimate child, Father Comstock had Lady Comstock and the Lutece twins killed. But the Lutece twins weren't actually killed though.
But you two are dead. I took your funeral photo.
Yes, and made an absolute hash of it.
One doesn't expect a picture of one's corpse
To come across so lifelessly.
The twins' tear device was sabotaged by Fink while they were using it, scattering them across space and time. They pretty much became omnipotent, which explains how they just pop in and out of existence as they please.
You missed. Another miss. And a miss.
We can afford to do this all day.
The question is, can you?
One more thing about the twins, they're not actually siblings. Robert and Rosalind Lutece are from separate universes, they're different versions of the same person. So enough of that, after finding out the truth, Elizabeth reconciles with Lady Comstock.
I know you hate me for not being your daughter, and I hated you for not being my mother. We must forgive each other.
Prophet killed me.
Because you wouldn't keep his secret. Maybe this is you in another world where you never meet him.
Or where I saved him.
I don't know. Is that possible?
Find out, child. Find out.
As an act of kindness, Lady Comstock breaks open the gates of Comstock House and disappears for good. When you get to the bridge to Comstock House, Songbird shows up again. Songbird is about to kill you, but Elizabeth stops it. She agrees to go along with Songbird in exchange for your life.
Take me home. Please.
As you run across the bridge to chase after them, the fog clears and it's snowing. Somehow, you've passed through an indeterminate period of time. Through recordings and tears inside Comstock House, you find out that Elizabeth was tortured and brainwashed over the course of many years. She waited for you to come and rescue her, but that hope slowly faded.
But in the end, he abandoned me to serve his own needs. He showed me exactly how much faith our species deserved.
Elizabeth eventually became the totalitarian leader that Father Comstock always wanted.
My father dreamt of a flood of fire.
You finally find Elizabeth, who's now an elderly woman. The year is 1984. Elizabeth shows you a scene of Columbia destroying New York City.
I was coming.
Songbird. He always stops you.
She regrets who she's become and what she's done, so she wants you to stop her past self from becoming her.
What is this?
It's advice.
Advice on what?
How not to become me.
You're sent back to 1912 and you find Elizabeth being operated on, with Father Comstock overseeing the procedure. You shut down the generators and Elizabeth opens up a tear with a tornado and it kills the doctors. You help Elizabeth remove the pump attached to her back and you give her the coded message given by old Elizabeth. Elizabeth's time with Comstock has made her quite ticked off, so she vows to kill him, with or without you.
I'm not going to let you kill him.
Really? Booker? What are you going to do to stop me?
Not a damn thing. Because I'm gonna do it for you.
So the two of you head to Father Comstock's airship. You fight through Comstock's forces and you enter a room where there's a miniature model of Monument Tower. Elizabeth finds out that there was a siphon in the tower which limited her powers.
When I was little, I used to be able not just to open tears, but I could create new ones. To anywhere I wanted to go. But in the tower...
The two of you finally confront Father Comstock, who's completely unarmed and unguarded.
My, oh my, how you have grown.
Tell me, what am I?
He calmly talks to Elizabeth at first, but he starts to get aggressive.
Ask him what happened to your finger. Ask DeWitt. Tell her the truth!
My hand!
Tell her!
So you kill Comstock in a fit of rage.
Nothing is finished!
Booker!
You lock her up for her whole life!
Booker!
You cut off her finger and you put it on me!
Booker, stop it!
Elizabeth asks you about her finger, but you don't know about it.
I just assumed you were born with it. I don't know.
Your nose. It's bleeding.
What? Elizabeth, I swear to you, I have no idea what he was talking about.
You get to the airship's bridge. The Vox Populi have caught up and are attacking the ship. As the Vox start boarding the ship, Elizabeth finally deciphers old Elizabeth's coded message.
Elizabeth, stop it!
C-A-G-E! It's not a word, Booker! It's a song!
Songbird is now at your beck and call, helping you fight off the Vox forces. After they're dealt with, you arrive at Monument Tower and call Songbird to destroy it, which destroys the siphon as well. With the siphon gone, Elizabeth regains her full power. Songbird's control is lost and it starts to fly towards you, so Elizabeth opens a tear to Rapture, the underwater city. Elizabeth bids farewell as the water pressure kills Songbird.
There you go.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry.
You and Elizabeth go inside the bathysphere, headed towards the surface.
City at the bottom of the ocean. Ridiculous.
Okay, so things get kinda whack, but I'm gonna try my best to explain things. You arrive at the Sea of Doors, a space between worlds. The stars you're seeing are actually just other doors that lead to other universes.
There are a million worlds. All different and all similar.
As you walk between doors, you even see another version of you and Elizabeth walking somewhere. So you're taken to a door that goes to your past. Many years ago, you partook in a gruesome massacre. Because of this, you felt a need for some kind of redemption. Just as you're about to be baptized, you bail out at the last second, feeling that it's all futile.
You didn't go through with it.
Think a dunk in the river's gonna change the things I've done? Let's get out of here.
You want to quit all of this, but Elizabeth is steadfast in finding Comstock, insisting that he's in one of the doors. Through another door, you relive another event from the past, when you gave up a baby to Robert Lutece.
Oh, there was no baby, and if there was, I sure as hell wouldn't give it over to this guy.
You remember Robert Lutece as the man who gave the job, give us the girl, and wipe away the dead, but you don't remember giving up a baby.
The debt's paid. Mr. Comstock washes you of all your sins.
Elizabeth is making you go through all this because she really wants you to remember something from your past, but she also wants to make sure that Comstock is dead in all the other universes.
Hey,
Hey, the deal's off, you hear me?
In another past event, you see a younger Comstock and the Lutez twins taking away her baby and going through a tear. You wrestle with Comstock, trying to take her baby back.
No! Shut it down! Shut down the machine! Do it!
The baby reaches towards you, and her pinky is cut off as the tear closes. So yeah, Elizabeth is your daughter. And that's how Elizabeth has the power to open tears, because technically she's present in 2 different realities. After that happened, you felt kinda bad for giving up your daughter, so you branded her initials onto your right hand, AD for Anna DeWitt. 20 years passed by and Robert Lutez wasn't satisfied with how things turned out. So after he persuaded his alternate self, Rosalind, to cooperate with him, he offered you a chance to get Anna back. So you took the offer and went through a tear to a new reality. This really messed up your head and your mind started to create new memories from old ones.
Wipe away the dead. Bring us the girl. Wipe away the dead.
The phrase, bring us the girl and wipe away the dead, the demand Comstock made 20 years ago, suddenly became a job that Robert Lutez gave you. In 122 other realities, the Lutez twins have seen the other versions of you attempt and fail your mission. Remember that this was Robert's idea. Rosalind is just going along with it.
Coming here was your idea.
My idea?
I've made it very clear that I don't believe in the exercise.
But anyway, the 123rd time was the charm, I suppose. So you come to the conclusion that the only way to stop Comstock is to stop him from ever being born. Through another door, you're back at the baptism site and a bunch of Elizabeths show up. These other versions of Elizabeth explain that even though you rejected the baptism, you accepted it in other realities. In other realities, you became Father Comstock.
He's Zachary Comstock. He's Booker DeWitt.
No. I'm both.
You get drowned by the Elizabeths, after which they just disappear one by one. What the f***? How does that work? So you're telling me that this is supposed to get rid of the other Comstocks in the other universes? Why does drowning this version of Booker DeWitt kill the other Comstocks? If this cross-universal cause and effect really was a thing, the multiverse would be so chaotic, shit would just be popping in and out of existence all over the place. Anyway, after the credits roll, you're back in your office. You open the door to Anna's room and you call her name.
Anna? Is that you?
Is she there? Does this cutscene take place after the game? Is this the original Booker you were playing as? I don't know. But anyway, that's Bioshock Infinite, condensed. Thanks for watching, Patriots.